The John Cena problem is one that everybody wants to have, but once you're there, it's hard to get over. Basically, the principle behind the John Cena problem is that if you have a character that switches from one side to another, and it's not heel to face, unless this video would be called the Big Show problem. I'm talking a whole character shift like John Cena had while he was telling everyone that he's raised their children, that he called the fans trash. He was out here for 7 months just giving people the worst type of behavior. But you know what? John Cena can change the whole game just by going, my bad guys, don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to be John Cena again. You don't need any character development, no nothing. You know why? Because fans just want to cheer John Cena. No one wants to boo John Cena. It would have made sense for him to be a heel when he wasn't on his retirement tour. That's the John Cena problem. So, Solo Sequoia has the John Cena problem. He was the enforcer of the bloodline. He fought the WWE's top star on Netflix in front of a bunch of people for a Ulafala and a group that was dominant over WWE for years. He was in one of the most main event spots of main event spots. Cody Rhodes wasn't even on the show. He was just there waving and he wasn't wrestling. And you're telling me he goes from that to being on SmackDown with the MFTs with Jacob Fatu totally replacing him. You know why? Because Jacob does everything better than him. He got a better mic skills, better ring work, better appeal. He just looks better. Not like physically, because Solo has like a nice little cut, right? No, he just looks like a super dangerous enforcer. That was his role for Solo. He played the enforcer role for Solo better than Solo played it for Roman. Because Solo felt like another member of the bloodline back then. Yes, they bigged him up to be in that role. Jacob took the role as enforcer. He just looked like it. It's just what he was. That's what he is. Solo can't go back like John Cena. Remember, Solo got a win over John Cena, by the way. He can't go back and be the enforcer, this super serious character with the Ulafala. Some people may call that evolution. I call that a step back. He is forced to take a step back. Another person who beat John Cena, Austin Theory, had a character that was him being the future of WWE. Not quite the legend killer, but that was his character. He's the future. He's going to win all the matches. And you're supposed to be mad at him because it seemed like a huge nepotism angle with Vince McMahon. Vince gets removed. It's hard for Theory to reinvent himself. He has nothing to really latch on to on the show to reinvent himself. Him being in the Judgment Day makes no sense, right? Him, especially on Raw and on SmackDown, like him being anywhere near the bloodline in the Samoans makes no sense. That's the problem. That's the John Cena problem. Theory can't go back to being the future after losing for 2 years, which is pretty good. He's off TV. I kind of mad that they kind of didn't take him off for longer. But the problem is everyone got this old school mindset with being off of TV. Guys, if we want to see Theory lose like 200,000 matches in a row, we can just look that up on YouTube. The problem is, back in the day, there was no YouTube. You would hear about someone getting buried or losing a bunch of matches in some far off territory in Newfoundland, but you wouldn't see it on live television. And even if you did see it on live television, not everyone watches every week. Bro, not everyone had DVR. Nowadays, you could just go on YouTube and I can watch Drew McIntyre in 3MB. But it doesn't matter now because we already see him as, the Scottish guy. You know what I mean? And you want to take only the good parts of that era, but let's face it, Drew wasn't a top guy. He wasn't doing anything with that. Some people want him to use the broken dream stuff. I don't want him to. You know, it seemed like it's going back to a time period where he was inferior. You know, not superior. he doesn't have the John Cena problem. Yeah, I'm using him as an example of his past will never come back to haunt him. Kofi Kingston being Jamaican will never affect Kofi being part of the New Day. Him being in the New Day and him having this current character is actually a detriment to them being heels because Big E needed to be involved every week for that to be even a thing because people needed a reminder every week of what they did to Big E. They needed to see that every single week so they could slowly start readjusting their mindset to New Day rocks to not New Day sucks because that was a whole thing they had during their run to New Day is terrible. They don't do their chant. They boo them out of the arena, right? For 1 month. After that, nothing. Crickets. It's done. Everybody just wants them off the TV. No one cares about the tag team division. This has nothing to do with Big E. Absolutely. They have the John Cena problem. And they can't recover from it. That heel run was dead in the water as soon as Big E wasn't on TV. That's your past coming back to affect your current work is the John Cena problem. Cody Rhodes does not have that. Stardust, none of this affects him. Dashing, undashing, it's nice things to look back on. But because he does his current stuff so well, and we know him for it. The torn pec thing helped. Him being an absolute pro helps. But you know what else helps? Your character not being that big or interesting to begin with in the first place. You get what I'm saying? John Morrison. I love this wrestler. He Johnny TV, Johnny everywhere, right? He can come back not as John Morrison. And he could probably get over in a different way. And people would actually believe it. They'd be like, oh yeah, that was John Morrison, but now he's Johnny Kendo. Why not? Because, as awesome as John Morrison was, he's not Shawn Michaels. You know what I'm saying? It would be like, you remember when Triple H became Triple H? He was Hunter Hearst Helmsley before. Hunter Hearst Helmsley has never haunted the Triple H character. Him being this goofy guy who lost for a year. Why? Because he played Triple H so well. That's what I'm saying. You have to play your current role. You have to play your current role so well that people won't even matter that you were that guy. That is hard. And WWE has to believe it in enough because WWE wants quick results for with guys they think needs a heel turn. Like they want to be like, oh yeah, we want to see it right away. You're not gonna get that. They only give extended periods of time to the people they really really like. You only get to try to make an impact so many times. It's not like YouTube where you can go under a different name and make a new YouTube channel, man. Especially if you don't show your face. But WWE, we see how you look. Or your El Grande Americano. Oh my goodness. El Grande not having the John Cena problem is a huge detriment to people who love Chad Gable. And you guys know why. That means no one cared about Chad enough for El Grande to not just be the silliest thing they ever heard. El Grande is a excellent, excellent jab at WWE and CMLL. Great opportunity for Gable. But seeing everybody in his mask acting like him while he's injured, I don't know where they're going to go with that. I guess here's the big question for you guys. Will Chad Gable suffer from the John Cena problem? Will El Grande, when he goes back to Chad, be too much for him to get over? I don't know. We'll see. Enjoy the matches. And you have a great day.